Up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And Jon Jones, the disputed heavyweight champion of the world, just won in the third round against Stipe Miocic in the third round by spinning back kick TKO. Hurt him to the body badly and followed up with a few shots, and Stipe was done. The card was pretty mid. It had some great moments, a very good result in the co-main event. Imagine picking Michael Chandler, Kenny, bedtime, casuals. Imagine picking Michael Chandler. And the rest of the card was pretty mid. There were some solid finishes earlier on in the prelims, but we had a pretty dead stretch with the first... the Mauricio Ruffi fight was fun, but the first three fights of the main card were kind of mid. But yeah, I'm going to start off talking about the main event, go all the way down the card, give my thoughts and reaction to every single fight on the card. You guys let me know what you thought of the event in the comments. What did you rate the card? But yeah, let's start off with the main event of Jon Jones versus Stipe. I believe that Jon Jones is a duck and he's not that good and he would get slept by Aspinall. Look, he looked alright. He looked good, I guess. Stipe looked flat. He looked slow. It was relatively competitive on the feet, but Jones is just a fucking range merchant. And Stipe couldn't get past the reach. Jones was throwing spinning back kicks. He was throwing body kicks, which was hurting Stipe. He did crack him with, I think it was a straight right. Just because, again, he's got Stipe at the end of his reach. And Stipe just couldn't really get in the pocket that much. When he did land a few decent shots. Stipe was doing pretty good at times when he could extend the combination. But he just looked so much slower than Jon. It was very clear that he was 42. He got taken down easily with a pretty cool trip. I'll give Jones credit. The trip that he hit on him in the first round was pretty cool. And then he beat the fuck out of Stipe with ground and pound again. No jiu-jitsu off his back. No wrestling to get up. No ability to really defend himself on the ground. I'm sorry, even if Tom Aspinall gets taken down, I don't think he's just getting ground and pounded out immediately. So yeah, Stipe looked pretty mid, but again, was landing decent. Jon was running away at times. He would land a decent shot. Jones would literally just turn his back and run away from Stipe. So that's interesting. I think on the feet, both of them looked very mid. Jones's grappling was solid, but to be fair, he only really took him down in the first. And then second round was just a whole bunch of... just a bunch of range striking, relatively competitive. Let me check the numbers. I'll check, but... it just was a mid performance, in my opinion. I don't know, how many strikes overall did Jones land? 104, but a lot of those were on the ground. He was doing good work with the elbows, I'll say that. But, I don't know, Stipe, he looked okay, but he was just old. It was clear that he should not have been in there, at least with a title fight. Again, he's always going to have decent hands, but his pop was solid. But his defense was mid as fuck. He was not reacting to shots very quickly at all. And yeah, Jones was just cracking him, landing some decent elbows, decent knees, all that kind of stuff. And apart from that, yeah, his third round was competitive-ish. Jones was stinging him a little bit more. Kind of wobbled Stipe a bit with the right. I thought Jones might KO him or might put him down, but no. Jones doesn't knock people down with punches, but yeah, fair enough. Spinning back kick to the body was pretty sick. I do think he would get slept by Aspinall, though, and the post-fight interview was fucking disgraceful because Joe Rogan just basically allowed him to blatantly duck Aspinall and wouldn't even press him on it, and wouldn't even, he did say the name Tom Aspinall, Joe Rogan that is, but the first thing he said was Pereira. He said, you want to fight Pereira or maybe Aspinall? But bro, you're talking Pereira first? Get out of here. Come on, we don't. Pereira would be cool. I'm sorry. I'm picking Pereira to KO him. Maybe that's a retarded take. I think Pereira, if he keeps it on the feet, obviously he keeps it on the feet, but I think Pereira is reactionary enough and quick enough to fucking keep it on the feet at least for a little bit, and maybe not just get taken down immediately like Stipe, and then keep himself a bit more safe on the ground. I'm just going to say this, on the feet, Pereira would sleep him, Aspinall would fucking sleep him, Jones would get KO'd brutally by Tom Aspinall or Alex Pereira if they fought on the feet. Pereira's takedown defense would be suspect, but give me a few... if Pereira fights Ank and Aspinall fights Jones in the meantime, and if somehow Jones beats Aspinall, Pereira with a training camp with good grappling defense, I think could keep it on the feet and KO him. Maybe that's a dumb take, but I don't know. It was a solid main event, I guess. It was fun enough, but it was just... you were watching it the whole time, and it's yeah, this old man is just not good. Stipe retired. UFC, obviously, being the highly respectful of their champions, respectful of their legends, promotion that they are is just don't give him a promo. Like, they interviewed him, and Joe's like, oh, you retired? He's like, yeah, I'm retired. And then he walks off. Like, no promotion for him. They gave a fucking promotion for Michelle Waterson Gomez when she retired, for fucking Carla Esparza. Stipe Miocic, the heavyweight go, doesn't get one. Just disgraceful. But yeah, it is what it is. Good win for Jones. And still the undisputed, or not so undisputed, disputed heavyweight champion of the world, Johnny Bones. Just gay as well, little fucking doing the Trump celebration. Just cringe how he sounded on the mic. I swear, he's sounding more gay as the days progress. And yeah, just like anytime he was somewhat could maybe answer Aspinall. No, hey, America, I love you, Jesus this, Jesus that, America this, Trump that. Refused to actually answer questions about fighting Aspinall, and then, yeah, I'll see what Dana wants. He obviously didn't retire. I'll see what Dana wants me to do. And yeah, we'll figure something out. Instead of like openly being like, yeah, Aspinall, let's go. So it is what it is. Good win, I guess, for Jones. Anyway, let's move on to the co-main event, which was much better. Oliveira do Bronx. Imagine picking against Du Bronx. Imagine picking Michael fucking Chandler. Kenny Bedtime, you fucking bums, rats. So, no, I like Bedtime, but come on. Can't be picking Chandler. But no, Oliveira schooled him for basically 4 rounds, and I guess 4 rounds and a half, pretty much. And then the only success Michael Chandler had in this fight was landing one shot on on Oliveira, and then proceeding to eye poke him, and then proceeding to back of the head shot him like 20 times. And the ref just did nothing about it. Just blatant back of the head shots. Michael Chandler loves back of the head shots. But no, it was all Oliveira for pretty much everything else. He got a nice takedown in the first. Bro, I'm telling you, fight IQ Oliveira, shooting singles, fucking wrestling, attacking top control and stuff, actually staying patient on the feet, picking his shots. Bro, this guy's legit. I know he took him to a decision. I know there was times where he obviously got hurt a bit in the 5th, but that's going to happen if you fucking stand for 25 minutes with Chandler or spend that much time with him on the feet. And also, again, it's the same with like Emmett against Ilya. Emmett had a good 5th round against Ilya, kind of landed a few shots. Like, that's what happens when you get whooped for the whole fight. You have a few moments at the end. Oliveira probably wasn't as locked in as he should have been, like at the start. But yeah, great takedowns for Charles. Let me try and check the stats for this. Yeah, good takedowns, good wrestling, top control. They ended up in like a really weird position in the first where he was kind of just stuck there and couldn't really like throw anything. He landed, on the official numbers, Chandler landed more strikes, but on the total strikes, but that must have been like a bunch of fucking ground and pound or something, or just shots that didn't even fucking land. But yeah, Oliveira did well, got a couple takedowns in there, 5 takedowns actually on Chandler, 2 submission attempts. He was close to the rear naked at a couple times. Yeah, first round ended up in like a bit of an awkward position, couldn't really get out. Second round and third round, he beat the fuck out of him, heard him on the feet, was whooping his ass. Chandler was up against the fence. Again, I thought we were going to get a repeat of the first fight, because there was one point where Chandler was just sprinting away along the cage, and I was like, oh, he's about to catch him. Chandler took the shots pretty well, fair play to his chin. But yeah, easy second and third. I gave both of those rounds 10-8s for Oliveira. I thought that's reasonable. 4th round was just very top control heavy. 5th round, obviously, comes out, doing alright, doing his thing. Chandler lands one big overhand, which I was just worried about the whole fight. I'm like, overhand is about to fucking land or something. But no, he kept safe for the most part. Eye poke from Chandler, also grabbed the fence multiple times in the fight. Just blatant cheating. Eye poke kind of stunned him a little bit, and then he obviously landed a big shot. And then again, back of the headshots, they ended up in some weird exchange on the ground, and just again, back of the fucking headshots. But yeah, Charles showed good, and then at the end of the fight, Chandler made it fun. Oliveira had his back, and he just stood up with the back and just dumped himself back down like he did in the first round of their first fight. So great win for Oliveira. He looked great. Striking looked solid. Defense looked pretty good. Chandler didn't take him down at all. Chandler really didn't have him hurt that much, apart from just like halfway through the 5th round where he was just back of the head shotting him illegally. But yeah, great win for Charles. I'd say probably one more for a title shot. You kind of can't go like, he lost to Islam, CGI, beat Benil, lost to Arman, beat Chandler. You probably need one more, I would say. Dan Hooker versus Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje. No, not a Gaethje rematch, no. If Dan Hooker and Justin Gaethje fight, you could do the winner of that. You could do a Max Holloway fight, but Holloway versus Chandler also kind of makes sense. That's what Chandler called for. Chandler running promos coming off a 49-46 decision loss is kind of funny. Called out Conor again. You ain't getting Conor, little bro. But yeah, great fight. Chandler, even though he did cheat his ass off, did make it fun at the end, so fair play, and all that matters is that Oliveira won in the end. But apart from that, it was a solid fight. Probably fight of the night, in my opinion, for sure. Anyway, let's move on, though, down the card. Nickel hype train continues to not grow, it continues to shrink. Because I've been saying this dude's mid. I have been saying repetitively, this dude is mid, his striking ain't all that, KOing Val Woodburn, who's no longer with the promotion, does not mean anything, and his grappling is also mid, his jiu-jitsu sucks. We didn't see any grappling in this fight, there was literally zero grappling exchanges, so I can't really say that I was credited with that. But yeah, this ended up just being a whole bunch of shitty fucking striking where yes, 30-27 over Paul Craig. I thought Craig could have at least won a round. But again, not a robbery or anything like that, he won the fight, but it was just mid. It was like a less controversial Paddy Pimblett, Jared Gordon. Like it was like if Paddy Pimblett had clearly kind of won all three against Jared Gordon, or won 2 rounds clearly, but just still didn't look impressive because 54 strikes landed to 48. Bo Nickel was more accurate, but yeah, this guy just spams overhands. Just this exact same form on every fucking punch, just mid. You got to be sleeping Paul Craig. Like, Caio Borralho is not even like an elite striker. He's a great grappler, he's a well-rounded fighter, but like, he's not known for his like striking or his power. He's not known to be like fucking Carlos Prates, just KOing guys. And he slept Paul Craig out cold. This guy's been KO'd before. This guy's been submitted by Brendan Allen. He's been fucking looked mid against a lot of guys. And Bo Nickel, I know he's developing. Look, I'm not going to credit him too badly because, like, yeah, he's only 7-0. This is his third fucking fight. Fourth fight in the UFC. Gone from Jamie Pickett to Val Woodburn to Cody Brundage to Bo Nickel. Definitely a step up, so we'll see how he goes in his next fight. But yeah, if this guy gets a top 15 opponent next, I'm picking him to lose. I've been saying I would pick Hermansson to beat him. I've been saying I would pick fucking Dolidze to beat him, Cannonier to beat him. Even Python I would pick to beat him, honestly. Bo Nickel's got a long way to go. They got to slow roll him. Don't give him a top 15 guy. But slow roll him actively, though, because if this guy sits out until fucking International Fight Week next year, by the time he comes back, literally no one is going to care about him. The crowd was booing during his post-fight interview, and he had to be like, guys, GSP and Khabib and DJ, they won decisions, so what do you guys want me to do? You want me to knock everyone out? I'm like, yeah, but they beat bums by finish. Like, they KO bums. Fighters KO bums. Fighters KO guys that are supposed to be KO'd. You can't just go decision against everyone. Like, they're winning decisions in title fights, buddy. You're winning decisions and looking mid in unranked fights. Like, come on, you got to do a bit better than that. So yeah, underwhelming performance for Bot Nickel. Probably should have called the decision, to be honest. Like, I picked him by TKO because I was like, Paul Craig's just awful at striking, and I did think Bo Nickel has some pop, obviously, but yeah, his striking just looks mid. He doesn't look good at all. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Up on the card, who cares? Viviane Araújo won by decision. Both had some submission attempts in the second round, I think, from memory. Corinne Silva rocked her at the end of the first, but Araújo looked better, I guess, in the second and third. Boring-ass fight. Why was it on the pay-per-view? During this time, though, we actually did find out that Bryce Mitchell is fighting Kron Gracie. That's right, Kron Gracie, coming off a loss, is getting a ranked opponent on UFC 310 on the main card. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Interesting stuff. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. We had another decision. This one was more entertaining, though. And there's going to be some people that say Mauricio Rufy's overrated, or the hype's not even all that, or he's not that good because he took Lontop to a decision. Yeah, Rufy's a TKO guy. Rufy's a guy that relies on his power, that relies on dropping guys and hurting them. And James Lontop, or Yamas Yontop, or whatever the fuck his name is, Yamas Yontop, has a chin on him. Peruvian motherfucker, part of the cartel, I assume. Dude can take shots. Borshev put a beating on him. Rufy looked a lot more patient than I expected in this fight. Like, he did look like he was kind of a bit freezing at times. But still, when he got the combinations going, it's clear this dude's legit. Landed a nasty fucking look-away uppercut. Hurt him multiple times. Dropped him a couple times. On top was having a solid third round. Rufy's cardio does seem to be a bit of a concern, maybe. But again, I think he probably... It's not his best performance, but I think if he's landing those fucking uppercuts or those shots that he was landing on like a Bobby Green or on Charlie Campbell, who was his initial opponent, I think he's fucking sleeping them. So, yeah, Rufy, I think, is very good still. I'm not going to come here and like use this as the fight to be like, this dude's a top 10 guy. But I'm not down on Ruffy. I still think he's very good, and the decision is not everything. He put it on Yontop. He landed great shots. He looked solid on the feet. Yes, I would like to have seen him throw a bit more output, be a bit less tentative, but still, it is what it is. He looked solid enough. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. By the way, he also did KO... not KO. He did call out BSD as well, which is a good call out. I think he would win that fight, to be honest. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. We had Marcus McGee and Jonathan Martinez. I picked McGee to win by TKO. He ended up getting it done by decision. This was one of the worst displays of fight IQ, though, that I've ever seen from Jonathan Martinez, who, after hurting McGee badly to the legs and almost being TKO'd by leg kicks in the third round, just refused to fucking throw head kicks. He kept trying to target the leg, and McGee just switched southpaw. Throw head kicks. Like, my chat was saying, bro, throw head kicks. What the fuck you doing? And yeah, he looked alright. Like, McGee looked solid. He won the first two with output. But yeah, Martinez has no hands. He's a fucking leg kick merchant. This dude can't punch for shit. But McGee looking like he was on roids, looking like Vanderlei Silva 2.0. And just face-wise, no fighting style. Yeah, he looks mid. But he'll be ranked, so fair play to him. 34, he looks 50, to be honest. But yeah, decent win, I guess. But yeah, he was hurt bad to the legs in the third, and McGee was lucky that Martinez was just fucking absolutely retarded and refused to finish the fight. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Up, we had a fight which I got wrong, which was Jim Miller, Damon Jackson. I thought Jackson would do good in the grappling, just kind of holding him down. I thought he'd be a bit quicker on the feet. Jim Miller hasn't looked that good on the feet in a lot of his recent fights. He was getting tagged up by Bobby Green. I was like, lighter man skill. Damon Jackson will tag him up a bit. He'll do his thing. He'll camp some half guard control. Jackson gets it done. I thought Miller was a good underdog. I wasn't sure why Damon Jackson was such a big favourite, but I'm like, yeah, Jackson's only really lost to good guys and Jim Miller's lost to some mid guys, so I was like, whatever. But no, he got submitted with a guillotine immediately. I should have backed the chance that Miller could wrap up a gilly. I kind of thought it would just be 15 minutes, and I was like, Jackson will probably do a bit more. But no, Miller subs him immediately in round one, so good win for Jim Miller. Get him to 50 fights. Let's keep this dude pretty active. Give him no difficult fights, no hard fights, no one who's going to KO him or anything. But yeah, give him older guys. Give him like Clay Guida or some shit again. I don't know. And yeah, let him get to 50 fights because Jim Miller's pretty cool. So I got the pick wrong. Damon Jackson also retired. Who cares? Get him out of here. No one gives a fuck about you, little bro. Moved up to lightweight for what? You get subbed in the first round. Tough. Let's move on though to the next fight. We had David Onama versus Roberto Romero. I picked Onama to win. Because he was like a minus 10 fucking million favourite, and he almost got KO'd in the first round. Like, he got dropped bad in round one. Romero had a good showing for himself, but he ultimately did lose because he got hurt as well at the end of round one, and then Onama kind of just turned it on him for the last two, engaged some grappling. Romero looked alright, but Onama obviously was just doing more, wasn't taking the fight on short notice as well. So yeah, Romero definitely got a future in the UFC if he cuts down to featherweight, fights some kind of lower ranked guys. I don't think it will be anything special, but like, he could be a fun fighter. He's got hands, he can scrap. Onama looked mid. I don't know why the fuck he should be a minus 1,000 favourite against anyone, but yeah, he was. So I know anyone who bet him like by decision and didn't just assume he was going to KO the guy, good job, you won money. Apart from that, not much else happened in that fight. It was solid. Like, it was a great first round, and it kind of slowed down a bit, and it was pretty clear that Romero was just kind of gassed and Onama was doing more. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. This was probably my worst or equal worst pick of the card, was picking Janata Deniz to beat Marcin Tybura. Deniz hurt him a little bit early in like the first 20-30 seconds. And then after that, displayed zero grappling skill. He went and followed Tybura to the ground, which ended up in him getting reversed and just mounted for the rest of the fucking round. Second round, Deniz again gets taken down, ends up on bottom. Tybura gets mount, was doing all or nothing, being a fucking fat cunt for most of it. And then like 20 seconds to go, just starts unloading elbows, almost gets him out of there, cuts him open bad, and then the fight gets stopped because Deniz was like wobbly when he got back to his feet. And then apparently the doctor just stopped it, which was weird because he was like, Deniz looked very objectional to that finish, but I don't know what the fuck was going on. He probably would have lost. He was down 2-0 regardless, but still, I don't know what the stoppage was. I was like, oh, Janine's about to KO him in the third because Tabora's going to be retarded. But yeah, I don't know why the fuck I picked Janine's. I thought Tabora was going to be too fat and just get held up on the feet. But no, he takes him down and blobs all over him. Good win, I guess. Let's move down the card, though, to the next fight. This was probably my actual worst pick of the card, was picking Mickey Gall to win a fight. Was really not an intelligent thing for me to do, because I thought this guy looked alright against Basil Afez, and I thought Basil Afez looked alright against JDM, and I was like, okay, he's not good at all, Mickey Gall, he sucks, but Ramiz Brahimaj looked awful against Themba Gorimbo, and he has no wins over good opponents. I should have said the same thing about Mickey Gall, also has really no wins at all that are good. He's a terrible fighter, just a range merchant, I guess, just physicality, like size merchant, but he looked awful, got fucking chinned immediately. Ramiz Brahimaj got held down and grappled by Themba Gorimbo, but he goes out there and just immediately KOs Mickey Gall. Yeah, I shouldn't have done any sort of like kind of critical thinking of like, oh yeah, but Gorimbo lost to but Brahimaj lost to Gorimbo. I should have just been like, hang on, I'm not picking Mickey Gall to win a fist fight. Like, that's just not happening. So yeah, good win, I guess, for Brahimaj. Yeah, it was a sick win. It was one of the best KOs of the card. But yeah, Gall, awful. 7-7 record now, by the way. Cut him from the sport. Let's move on, though, to the next fight on the card. Stop on the card, we had Oban Elliott versus Basil Hafez. Oban Elliott was, in my opinion, winning the fight pretty comfortably, and then immediately in the third round just fucking slept this dude badly. And it was funny, it was coincidence, because before this, in the second round and in the break between rounds, me and my chat was talking about, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, JDM is kind of getting exposed through his opponent's performances. Like, I'm sorry, decision with Basil Hafez, and Basil Hafez looking this mid, you know, looked mid against Mickey Gall, who did just get KO'd, right? And then looking mid against Oban Elliott, and then I'm like, I don't know, bro, like, you kind of got to be fucking sleeping this dude. And then as I say that, fucking Oban Elliott just KOs him. Oban Elliott has like no KOs on his record. Oban Elliott is like a pure fucking decisionator. He's just won like all of his fights by decision, and he slept Basil Hafez badly. Like, JDM, I'm sorry, you're getting a bit fraud checked here via your opponents looking atrocious. Like, maybe that's just JDM kind of fighting down to their level a bit, but his first 3 wins are no longer in the fucking promotion. Pete Rodriguez got KO'd by Themba Gorimbo. He's not good. Ramazan Amir's no longer in the promotion. Danny Roberts is a bum. And then Randy Brown, when it was good, Randy Brown's a bit chinny. You know, Holland decision, Basil Hafez decision kind of mid, and then Holland decision kind of mid, and then Burns decent, but not even like with punches. He caught Burns with a knee as Burns literally dove in for a takedown. Like, I like JDM, but I don't know, I just think he's kind of getting a bit overrated, because like, yeah, he mixes to the body and he throws body shots, so I guess he's just a phenom. I don't know, I think he's good, but I don't think JDM is like elite. Like, I think he's very good. I don't know, I think he would lose to a few guys though. Well, I'm still picking him to beat Usman, but I think he might lose to Bilal. I think he would get KO'd by Prates. I don't know. I just don't know if JDM is as good as I think a lot of people were saying that he is. I'm sorry, I like him, but Oban Elliott's KO on Basil Hafez. Oban Elliott, who has like fucking 2 career KOs, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's just not the best look. It's not the best look. Oban Elliott. Let me look up this guy. How many KOs does he have before this? Good win for Oban. I'll give Oban the credit, though. Like, Basil's usually a pretty tough guy. Maybe JDM was the one that kind of beat his chin up to nothingness. But that was his 3rd KO in his career in 12 wins. He first KO since 2021 against some random bum on the regional scene. Like, I don't know. You got to kind of be JDM. You got to KO this dude, man. Like, maybe I'll be proved wrong. Maybe he goes out there and just smokes Usman. But yeah, Oban Elliott, good win though. Let's move on though to the first fight on the card. Next up, first fight on the card. As you can see by the photo I have selected, this fight was so uninteresting. But you know, Eduardo Mora, cake, thighs, legs, camera angles were tremendous. No, she did alright. I picked her to beat Veronica Hardy just through physicality, and she got it done. So yeah, good job for her, I guess. But that is the card done, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts. It was decent, I guess. How many KOs were there? There were 2 like clean KOs back to back with the Oban Elliott one, and then the Ramiz Brahimaj one, and then there was a TKO win. Then there was a fun fight decision. So it was like boring decision in the first fight, but there was cheeks on display. 2 KOs, a TKO due to a cut, a fun decision, a submission, a funish decision, there was like a solid-ish decision with Ruffy, boring with the women's fight, and then the Bo Nickel fight. Sick fight with Oliveira, and then decent fight with Jones in the main event. So yeah, 8-4 on picks, I believe. The fights I got wrong, I picked Karine Silva, I picked Damon Jackson, I picked Janata Janice, and I picked Mickey Gall. So there you are. I went 8-4 on picks, very mid, 66%, I believe that is. Yeah, 2/3 of the picks right. Anyway, that'll do it, guys. Peace out. Drop some other video ideas you guys want to see. I'll do fights to make next. But yeah, peace out, guys. See you in the next one.